Tim, we've been planning this for a while, and it's my fault that the scheduling and everything, but I do thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, it's awesome.
Now, I feel that you probably have one of the best beards in Okotoks. Is that some kind of title that you have, or is that just kind of my opinion?
I've seen I've seen bigger ones in town,
Yeah.
and we see each other regularly enough that we don't know each other, but we go the
Oh,
nice.
is that right? So guys with big beards are kind of like guys on motorbikes. They wave to each other. Like people on
Totally.
motorbikes all wave to be like guys with big beards. You give each other a nod.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes it'll just be like, "Your beard looks well conditioned. What do you do?"
Really? You asked
Yeah,
for
well, totally. Yeah,
yeah. So what do you
it's like
do?
a pregnant belly too. People will just come up and start rubbing your face, and I'm like, I don't know who you are, but let's hope this moment's over quick.
No, like seriously, people touch your beard.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't like that.
no,
That's interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that about beard people. So just for the beard people that maybe are seeing this on video or you're getting comments that your beard is well conditioned. What product? This is not a product placement. We are not sponsored yet by any. We're not endorsed yet, but maybe the company that you use to condition your beard maybe will consider sponsoring us after. So who?
I don't even know what I use. It's pretty much when it runs out, my wife buys me more stuff, and I go, "This one's great," and it has a squirrel on the front of it. That's all I
Oh,
know.
and it's special beard stuff. Like you got to buy a
Yeah,
certain type of
oh
conditioner
yeah,
for your beard. Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
totally. And I got to be careful with that because some of them have nuts, and my family's allergic to nuts, and I like my wife to kiss me, so
Yeah, that could that could be a little interesting if she's allergic to nuts.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
well, Tim, you are a man of many trades. In fact, before we got rolling here, you had felt the need to hide the skill saw from behind your view here. So,
Off
uh,
me under.
so it's not just like with tools, but you're also very well schooled performing musician.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. I do a bunch of things with music. Kind of early on, figured out that's the thing I'm good at. Let's stick with that.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So let's back up a little bit more because when we were talking before, we found out that we had something in common, and we are both born in Saskatchewan. That's
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah. Saskatoon, I lived there for 5 years and my parents moved here. And then I've been in Okotoks ever since then for whatever that is, 40-ish years.
Right.
I don't like counting.
No, and only good people come out of Saskatchewan, and there's certainly
Exactly.
there's a lot of people from Saskatchewan in Okotoks. We see a lot of those Rider fans, go Riders. I'm actually don't tell anybody I'm not a Rider fan anymore. I'm good. I know I'm going to be judged. I'm probably going to be excommunicated as a
Yeah.
person.
Don't put your address on here. That's for
No,
sure.
I know, but I could probably have a whole podcast as to why I chose not to be a Rider fan anymore. It was but anyways, we won't get into that today because we want people listening. But we probably lost our viewership since I said I don't cheer for the Riders anymore. By
You definitely
uh,
lost a couple viewers at that point for
probably at
sure.
least 75% of Okotokians, Saskatchewan people. But
Yeah, there's a ton here. It's weird.
I know absolutely that and Oiler fans. That could be a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
You know.
It'd be interesting how many people in Okotoks are not Rough Rider fans, Oiler fans, or from the UK.
Yes, right. There wouldn't be
Not a
anybody
lot.
left.
Not a lot. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Tim, how long have you lived in? So you were born and raised in Saskatoon, and then when did you move to Okotoks?
I was in kindergarten. I remember, well, not remember, but I remember being kindergarten-ish here, or in grade one at least, at Percy Beckler School. So yeah, it's. I think I'm 46. I'm either that or 47. I don't know.
Okay.
So it'd be just over 40 years that I've been here in town.
Yeah, no doubt you have. You and your family have seen tons of changes going from
Yeah,
an actual town. I would imagine when you arrived, it was probably under the town limit of, I'm just
yeah,
guessing, under 10,000.
yeah.
And now we've exceeded 32,000. So let's just have a little bit of fun here. Yeah, you've kind of been all over the place. You have a master's of music in choral conducting, right?
Yeah, yeah,
A bachelor's degree in piano performance.
yeah.
What other instruments do you play? Obviously, you play piano, you sing.
Here at the church, we got a kind of modern band set up, and I generally will play anything to fill in. I regularly will lead from acoustic guitar. This past week I played bass. Next week I'm playing drums. I don't play lead guitar but I put myself on the schedule for a month from now and said, all right, you're going to play lead guitar, so you have a month to learn.
Right, for sure.
So just kind of shoving myself down that path.
Yeah.
And not in terms of like how many instruments you play. There's a certain point, and I don't want this to come across as like arrogant or whatever, but there's a certain point where learning an instrument is literally just kind of, okay, where are all the things that I know found on this instrument? Mm-hmm. And how do I make a sound? And then it's just kind of like, once you do that, then learning the instrument is really quick, because you're just kind of like, how do I make my notes? Oh, like this, and I make a sound like this. Okay, and then the rest of it, you know the scale, and you're like, okay, so this is how I make a play or whatever on this song, on this instrument.
Yeah.
So I taught band for a couple of years, and generally learned how to play a decent melody on most instruments. And
yeah, no, well, back in the day, I played violin, and
wonderful.
No, but that's been many days. In fact, the last time somebody asked me to bring out the violin, and this was probably, let's say, I'm going to say like 20 years ago. Somebody asked us to, and then we were going to perform, and I was like so nervous. We sounded really good in practice, but so the last time that I actually performed in front of a group of people, I was so nervous, Tim, that my bow was bouncing on the string. Yeah, that was nervous. So I've never played violin again in public, right? So yeah, lost that. Well, yeah, but no.
You always pick it up again. We got an orchestra that's always looking for strings.
Right, yeah. And as a kid, that was the part that I loved the most, was the orchestra. That was
absolutely
pretty phenomenal. Playing Eine Kleine was my favorite. Yes,
Eine Kleine Nachtmusik.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. And then you move, like now you are the co-founder of the Foothills Philharmonic Society.
Yes, yeah,
okay.
Indeed.
First, let's really dumb it down for me. When you say Philharmonic, what does that mean?
So when we were choosing the name, we're like, oh, do we call it a symphonic or blah, blah, blah? And we didn't want to kind of misrepresent. So we're like, okay, what do these words technically mean? And let's not portray ourselves as something we're not. And a Philharmonic literally is defined as for the love of harmony.
Okay.
And doesn't have any specific larger context than that. So we're like kind of tossed around Rocky Mountain group now, Okotoks. No, we want to be larger than that. Foothills, and then we wanted to shoot for the stars from a quality perspective. So we wanted to see if call ourselves Philharmonic or something, and then that term just made sense for us. So Foothills Philharmonic Society, and even when we started, we just started the Foothills Philharmonic Chorus. That was what we started. We had planned to do that, and then things started erupting, and we're like, oh, we got to be bigger than that. Society, let's call ourselves that. And that was a couple of years in, and we started adding all these things.
Okay.
Okay,
so is that just voices, or is that also stringed instruments, or is it whatever you want it to be that kind of harmonizes?
Yeah, technically, it just allows us to kind of encompass whatever it is we want musically to be inside of there. We started with the chorus, then we built a chamber chorus, which is a smaller group, more advanced music. Then we added jazz, vocal jazz group, and then the Okotoks men's chorus joined our organization. So there's a men's choir. We started as well an orchestra, and they've been highly successful as well. So we've got that group going with us. We started an opera chorus in partnership with the Calgary Concert Opera Company. And our newest addition is the junior singers, led by one of our long-term singers who was with us. He and another vocalist started a group for kids, Foothills Philharmonic Junior Singers. And now we're chatting about putting all the things in place to start a youth choir as well.
Okay, that's way more than I thought. I thought you guys were maybe just one choir and that was it. But that's unbelievable, everything you guys have going on. So what does a regular year look like? Like what are you working towards? Is there some kind of concert that you're looking at putting on here in the next little while? Like what does an average year look like for you?
Yeah, we now have to do like a planning. We do like a planning thing in the kind of summer to go, all right, where are our concerts? Let's not do them at the same time. Let's not exhaust people, keep a couple of weeks in between things as much as possible. For the chorus, so I conduct the chorus in the chamber choir, and we have other directors for other groups. For the chorus, concert coming up is December 13th and 14th, I think. kind of around that Friday. If you go to foothillsphilharmonic.com, you'll have all the information
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that'll be for chorus and orchestra are performing there. Chamber choir is performing on October 25th with our orchestra. Junior singers are sometime in the end of November.
Hmm.
Um, Vocal jazz and men's chorus, I think it's in November as well. I can't recall exactly. Then our chamber choir has a concert in February. And I think we have something in every month: February, March, April, May, June as well. And yeah, just flavor. There's a flavor for everyone, right? Our vocal jazz does a lot of pop tunes and jazz stuff, and just really tight harmonies, and it sounds really great. Men's choir does, some older stuff, some newer stuff, kind of some classic barbershop type of stuff. And really exciting this year, we've seen additions to every group. Every group has had brand new people join, and it kind of feels like a year where post COVID just constantly felt like, up to this year. I know COVID feels like a long time ago. We're rebuilding constantly. Like our numbers still aren't as high as they were before COVID, but we're doing, like, our numbers are doing great, and we're adding more and more. But this is the first season where it really feels like we're not going, does this work? Do people want? Is this okay? Like what? Like it just felt like it was hard to put something together. You're just excited about moving toward, and now like everyone's on fire and just stoked about making music. Yeah, we got our concert in December is called Northern Lights and Joyful Sounds, I think. And we got a lot of music by Scandinavian composers, and like Ola Yalo and Eric Sessenwalds and a couple other folks like that. And it's just gorgeous harmonies. And yeah, we sing in English most of the time, but there'll be some Latin and some Norwegian and
Okay.
all that stuff.
Yeah. And where do you guys perform this? Like, I believe it's December 13th and 14th, but where do you perform?
Most of the time we perform here at Okotoks Alliance Church. I've got that, kind of double hat
Hmm.
going here with the FPS. So I always make sure to say to the board constantly, I'm not pushing that we have to do things here.
Hmm.
Like, I think it's a great facility for these reasons. But, if it's more efficient or effective to go elsewhere, I'm all for that. I just want, this is what's best for the society, right? So you kind of got that double thing going on there.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And do you buy tickets for that? And can you buy the tickets online already or not quite yet?
No, not quite yet. Online tickets will be up pretty soon, and I know for the orchestra concert, it should be up in the next couple days or so. But tickets can generally be sold at the door. Pre-COVID, we were selling out all the time. Post-COVID, we haven't quite reached that, but we've been full most of the time. So generally, you can buy tickets at the door, but hopefully you can't.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely.
That's the
Hopefully,
goal.
yeah, for sure. Well, I've certainly seen your posters out there. I know that you were certainly looking for people in the fall. You were looking for singers. Are you kind of at the point where you've now passed the time where people can't join, or is there still a little bit of a window if they know what they're doing, they can join?
Yeah, depends kind of on the ensemble as well. For like chamber choir, which is more advanced stuff, you have to do a pretty sort of chamber choir and vocal jazz. You have to do an audition to just make sure that you're going to be able to, sing well and not go crazy. It might seem like it's keep people out. It's more of a, if you're not ready, you're going to go crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're going to be so stressed if you're not ready to sing with the group. Chorus and men's chorus are generally open to everyone, but as kind of the season goes on, you definitely want to go, all right, if someone goes 4 weeks before the concert, oh, I'd love to join. Sometimes you just kind of meet with them and see what level they're at, and be like, maybe it's next season, so your brains don't explode trying to learn all this in
Right.
3 weeks.
Absolutely. I remember it was quite a few years ago. Again, we're seeing COVID a lot here. I think it was pre-COVID. You and a few other gentlemen, while I was doing some Christmas meal grocery shopping, you guys dropped in at Sobeys, and it was fantastic. You guys were walking around the store, and the thing that I noticed, like, you guys were phenomenal, and I was following you around the store. People get really awkward in moments like that. They don't know what to do when people are singing, right? But you guys I just thought that was a great thing that you guys did. I imagine you were trying to get some support. It was no doubt Foothills Philharmonic that you decided to do that. And it was absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah, and we have to plan it like very like it's usually been the men's chorus who's done that.
Hmm.
But yeah, we'll kind of talk it through and be like, all right, so don't stand in the aisle. It's kind of like make sure you position yourself so people don't have to kind of try to get around you.
Yeah.
It's like we stay out of people's way. We're like, or else we're gonna annoy the owners of the store. And you make sure to check with the owner, make sure they're cool with it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we're always very intentional about don't disrupt the flow. Yeah, and some people are smiling, and some people are like,
Yeah, yeah, they just don't know what to do.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
Well, I know it's great promotion. I mean, I remember years ago seeing guys, they were performing in Sylvan Lake, and they were walking around a grocery store in Sylvan Lake playing. They had the upright bass, they had a little drum, then someone was playing a guitar, but they were walking around singing the theme song from Cincinnati WKRP. You know,
Yeah.
it was classic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, they were phenomenal. I'll find it and I'll send it to you. But it's
Yeah.
worth the watch, right? Those guys were fantastic, but very similar to what you guys did there that day, and it was Sobeys. That was fantastic. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, Tim, just as you have been uh, an Okotokian for quite some time. What are the things you like? What are the things? Are there things that are making you nervous? What are your overall thoughts in regards to Okotoks?
Well, I'm one of those people where I generally try to see the silver lining
Hmm.
on things.
Hmm.
Know lots of people who are, oh, it's getting too big. We got to keep it small. My brain generally goes, how would you do that?
Hmm.
Like people, it's growing because it's awesome. So to make it not grow, I guess you make it less awesome.
Yeah.
Then we don't want to be here.
Yes.
Like, and so the unfortunate reality is when you have a town like ours, which I believe, like there's always going to be issues, but I believe our mayor and councilors in generally always have been doing a pretty good job of just improving it year after year after year and making things more beautiful and more fun. I think they do a great job, and I'm not saying they're perfect, but yeah, like I just kind of look around. I'm like, yeah, it was this before, and that was nice, but now it's this. I'd rather it be a growing great town than they tried to do the population cap years ago, and even as a teenager, I was going, I don't know how that works. That
Yeah.
doesn't seem to make sense to me.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we reach it, they're like, oh, that doesn't work, and they took it off.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm just kind of like, well, like yeah, it was great. And then people are like, oh, I'll move to High River. I'm like, okay, but all you people are moving to High River. Now it's going to be bigger, and so it's the same thing, and it's kind of I get it. Like that was it was a beautiful time when it was smaller and everything. But I think our town's trying to keep that community, and like I'm excited about what the future of our town slash city is going to be. Right, and it's I've often kind of considered I'm like, should I go into politics? I'm like, I don't think I can watch my face enough. Someone will say something, I'll be like,
No. No.
you know,
Yeah. I know.
just like that's not going to go well.
No. Yeah. Like I even
Represent Jesus well, I can't.
yeah, for
Wait for
sure.
that.
No, well, even just with this podcast, right? Like I get
Hmm.
um you're putting yourself out there. Unlike, like, I'm not comparing myself to a politician, but you do put yourself out there, and you're putting yourself out there for anytime you go on social media,
Yeah,
you're putting yourself out there for criticism. I've gotten some negative feedback about my podcast, and
really.
oh yeah, yeah, and I realize my skin's not very thick, and I'm just like but good for those politicians that don't respond, that don't engage, or they engage to a point and they keep it professional,
Yeah.
right? Because yeah.
Absolutely. I see that on our social media is like someone raises a question or someone gets angry and then you see a calm response, just kind of giving the facts. And then at that point, if they continue getting upset, you can just see them go, those are the facts. Thank you.
Yes, and that's the biggest thing, is just being able to present the facts. And social media, like, there's no tone, right? There's no tone,
Yeah,
like,
totally.
um
Body language, right?
yeah, even you and me talking right now, we can see each other, we have body language, kind of get a feel for what they're thinking. But somebody types something, it's hard to to gauge their tone. And yeah, I wouldn't want to be a politician. We got a lot of great people that are running. Some of them are going to get in, some of them aren't. But everybody, the common denominator is the love that people have for this town.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we've all moved here for a reason. I get a little bit of a chuckle out of people that have just moved here and they're like, let's close it up, close the door, we're in, you know.
Yeah, I made it.
I made it, so no, we gotta. But yeah, I think it's just as long as the growth is managed
Responsible. Yeah.
properly, and yeah, there is going to be some growing pains. There is some awkward moments, and I don't know. I guess something I've been thinking about is like, I know we love calling it a town.
It's not.
It's not a town, but I
No.
wonder if we kind of, we get stuck in that if we call ourselves a town, the baby of the family. Everybody's just always, oh, he's just the baby, right? He's now 13 and we're still babying him or whatever. You wonder if there's a little bit of a mind shift change that could take place if we ditch the town, no longer call ourselves a town, and now we become a city.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if just that mentality may change a little bit. And I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just something I've been thinking about lately. But yeah, it should be interesting to see what transpires
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, we had the mayor debate forum here at the church last week,
Mm-hmm.
and I did tech sort of things for it, and you could see there's some differences of opinion and some arguments and stuff like that. And I'm always one of those people when you see politics in general, politicians, when you see people, oh, so and so wants to destroy the province, I'm like, no, they don't. They might suck at their job, but there's a great saying, don't attribute to malevolence that which can be explained through incompetence.
Yes.
Right? It's like, I'm like, you might disagree with Trudeau or Polyev or blah, blah, blah. Like, but in general, like, pretty confident they're doing what they think is best for Canada.
Yeah.
They just might suck at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
I think
they're just not going about it the way that you think
yeah,
they should, right?
exactly.
I
But,
know.
kind of put the card where it is. It's like, it's not evil. I think there are certain politicians that are evil.
Yeah.
With their neighbors to the south, but I won't go into that.
That's a whole podcast name and title in and of itself, as opposed to just
Exactly.
one episode, Tim. So
Yeah.
I know the state of the world. We're at a very interesting place, but wouldn't it be great if we could build a community that is able to agree to disagree,
Mm-hmm.
but to keep the discourse going, right? So let's call it as it is. Some of the crap that I've seen on Facebook, people calling people out, and calling politicians out for things that they've done wrong, as opposed to, like you said, just present the facts. Here's the facts. Let's kind of move forward. Let's keep the conversation going, as opposed to shutting her down. And I think if we could do that as a town, you want to keep the small town feel. That's how you do it, folks.
Totally.
You keep conversations rolling. You agree to disagree. Okay, we have a difference of opinion, but I'm arguing with somebody that loves Okotoks just as much as I do.
Totally.
Right.
So. That's actually something that always excites me about the Foothills Philharmonic Society. Like you do religious music, but in a specific vein, right? From a historical, educational standpoint. And as a pastor, like on our board at the Foothills Philharmonic, we have Christians, we have atheists, we have straight, transgender, gay, just kind of everyone of different kind of mindsets and thought practices. And I'll often, put together a set of music and just say, hey, does this seem too preachy? I'm like, is this getting too, and they'll give me their honest feedback. And we have great conversations about religion and life. And one of my good friends on the board, she's a nurse. And, I have, being in the Christian world, I have some people who are very, very left and some who are very right, and people saying abortion is this, and other people going it's this, and I go to my friend who she's not a Christian. I'm like, what is true about this?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and then we have a great conversation, and she gives some wisdom to that, and I'm able to part that onto other people, and I'm like we can have a disagreement about what it is, but we can still love each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've been able to have phenomenal relationships and friendships with all these people who. There's a very fundamental things we might disagree on, but love for people, respect for humanity, all that fun stuff. It's just, it's a great organization to be part of because everyone in general, if you don't like those things, you don't stay long because you get annoyed that we do like those things.
Yes, for sure.
You know?
And that's where, and we've said it time and time again, and me diving into this podcast has certainly opened my eyes at the advantage of municipal politics, where you have to bring people together. You bring many different people. We're voting in 6 councillors and a mayor, and all these people have difference of opinions, and they have to come together and work together and vote, and either they
Yeah,
agree or disagree and they move on, right? As opposed to the dissension, I believe, that is caused provincially and federally because they don't have to work with the opposition
yeah,
if they've
absolutely.
got the majority. But Tim,
Yeah, and I see that everywhere.
yes, Tim, I appreciate you. We will promote what we need to when we need to help you guys out. I look forward to coming to December 13th and 14th. Yeah, thanks for what you do. Thanks for what you do in this town. You certainly didn't mention it, but I see you received the is it called Con Spirito Award? Con
Yes, yeah,
Spirito Award.
yeah, Conspiratorial Award. It's assigned, given, I don't know the right word for that, bestowed, I guess, by Acquire Alberta, which is a province-wide organization that promotes choral activities, and then they nominate people every year for contributions to choral activities in the province. And then Matt Ellis at the Composite High School, he
Nice.
leads the vocal ensemble, and they're literally provincially and internationally, I think internationally, provincially for sure, award-winning, phenomenal group. And I do choir camps with them and stuff, and he nominated me. And then it was cool because on the selection committee were all these people, like just top-notch conductors, and I'm one of those guys who's constantly like looks in the mirror, and I'm just like, I'm a 12-year-old boy.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's gonna believe I should do this. Like, it's just
Mm-hmm.
constant, imposter syndrome, right? And then to get selected for that and they've selected, I think, maybe 2 or 3 people a year for that, and the people they've selected are like the people I study all the time, like Tim Shantz with the Calgary Phil, or who used to be with Calgary Phil and Spiritus, and Leonard Ratzlaff at the U of A. And these were people who I chatted with, and they kind of looked me up, and they're like, yeah, this guy seems like he fits. And I was like, oh, okay, we're just doing music and we're loving music. They're like, yeah, great, thanks for what you do. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Constantly thinking like someone's going to be coming and be like, you don't really know what you're doing. I'll be like, I don't.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's awesome, man. Well, Tim, it's people like you that make this town so great. Town, city. I know we talked about that, but it's yeah, and having something like this that just adds such a dimension to the town, a level, a depth is fantastic. And I look forward to seeing some of the performances coming up here very soon.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you out. And you can come sing or play some violin if you want as well.
Yeah, yeah, you boot me out the first time we had to play in front of people.
We
So
wouldn't give you a solo right off.
no, okay, yeah,
If you ever want to pick it up again, there's a place for you.
yeah, for sure. Tim, thanks so much.
My pleasure, man.